All right, speak to me, Zoltar. Go ahead. Say it now. Say it now. What do you have to say? Oh, sure. Now you're not going to say anything. Now you're just going to stand there and just be silent. To do something just a little bit different today. I am at a thrift store called Opportunity Village. It's a large thrift store, but I don't tend to find a lot of really great resale items here, and that's kind of the goal today. Is I want to show you some of the things you might be attracted to purchasing, which you should probably stay away from. So it's kind of one of those like reverse treasure hunt. Hopefully we do find some good things as well, and I'll point those out as usual, but I'm going to try to make an effort to point out things that I see resellers pick up and try to sell that turn into duds. So let's see how that goes, and I'll see you inside. There we go. See, looks like hard goods are on the other side of the store. Okay, let's talk about art for a moment. There is a lot of art out there, and some is really good, and most of it is kind of your run-of-the-mill kind of stuff. How do you know what's going to sell and what's not? Well, there's a few things to think about when you're looking at art. So one type of art you want to look at is original oils. Like this is vintage, made by B. Murphy in '74. Now keep in mind that there was a big time period where a lot of amateur painters were just making art in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Lots of florals, lots of landscapes, lots of people watched Bob Ross. What can we say? So you want to look for the quality, and I mean, this one's actually pretty nice. And I don't know if B. Murphy is an amateur or not. B. Murphy kind of knows what they're doing, I think, because, the trees look good, the buildings look good. So those are some things to look at. Now, I'm going to try to find an example of a piece of art that is the opposite of that. And I don't really see anything over here. I do see this one also is a painting. It's got some nice color. Again, nice subject matter. This one's not as old. So really it has to have some eye appeal, has to spark some emotion, maybe bring up a memory for somebody. Those are some of the things you want to look for in art. So I'm going to go and I'm going to check that out when I got both my hands free and kind of see what the price is and everything, because that's a pretty nice piece of original oil. Now let's talk about prints. So a print is something that's made off of the original oil. So being careful not to get anybody else in my video here. So those prints, depending on the value of the original oil, kind of determines the popularity of the print. And some prints were just like mass marketed, and then some were very limited editions, and that's what you want to look for. You want to look for a low edition number. So number something out of, my preference is under 250 or under 300, even under 500. When you get above 500, it lowers the value because there's more of those prints out there. So it's kind of supply and demand. So let's look at a couple of prints that might be okay. All right, I was looking at this one here. I grab a lot of the scripture mugs and dishes and things, and this is a scripture print. It's a pretty nice print, but again, size. So a lot of people don't have room for a large print, so more of like a medium size is a little easier to deal with in the print department. And then you have a lot of these prints that are now on canvas, so you got to be careful of that. That's a pretty mass marketed thing, so make sure it's something that you don't mind, sticking around for a while. Ooh, they're getting noisy over here. So I tend to try to find prints that are in a really nice shippable size. I look through a lot of this type of stuff, and I'm looking for things that have a good subject matter and are, in my case, vintage. But vintage isn't always where you need to be. And I happen to spot this. This is a Bessie Pease Gutman. I think I said that right. Let's see if I can kind of zero in on our signature. Now this is a little one. This one's only going to be worth $12 to $15. I just sold an 8x10 for $25. So Bessie does sell, and she's got a lot of really nice subjects with animals in them and things, and people do decorate, and look, it's only 99 cents, so can't go wrong flipping what did I say, 99 cents into about, I must say about $15 on this one because of the nice wood frame. Now, as far as getting prints, you know, it's going to depend on your niche. Like, do you do a lot of stuff with chickens? Because a newer mass marketed piece could actually bring you some good money. Now this one is by Isabel de Borchgrave. I don't know how if I said that right. Gingham Roosters. This is $3.99. Now this would have come in a series of 2. But you know what? It looks very country, very primitive decor, you know, that cottagecore kind of a look. So this, I know I could sell down at the booth if I can't sell it on eBay for about $20 to $25. So I'll pick that one up for $3.99. And now things like this, I mean, that's fun. This is probably more of even like a millennial type of print. It's not my thing. Now, see, that's my thing with art. I have to enjoy having it around for a while because art tends to stick around until it finds the right buyer. So, but stuff like that might be your thing. You might be all okay with that sticking around for a while. I do look at tiles too. Many of these tiles can sell for some pretty good money. This is called the Tree of Life. I can't read that. I'm trying to read that. By Betty LeDuc. This is $4.99. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like it. And sometimes that is how I make my decisions. I gotta like it. You gotta like it. You're gonna have this stuff around. You gotta touch it. You gotta work with it. You gotta get it sold. I mean, I like horses, but this is somebody's little project, a little repurposing project. I'm not totally keen on that. It's just stuck into a frame. So you're looking again, like here's a mass marketed. That's not gonna be worth a whole lot. Mass marketed. I think I have this very same owl photograph in a larger version. So, okay, now this is new. This is a print on canvas, but who doesn't love a cat with a big old hairdo like that? I mean, that will sell. It strikes an emotion. This might sell better if it was in a frame. Still has its original tag. It's 2017 Pets Rock. $6.99. I mean, I don't know that I want to pay $6.99 for it, but it's pretty funny. I think I'm going to leave it just because I have plenty of art right now, but I mean, that is pretty cool. Some of you might be screaming, get the cat. I don't know. You know what? You guys are going to be mad if I don't get the cat, aren't you? All right, I'll get the cat. Okay, I'm also checking out this shell frame. The problem is, and this is something like you have to look at, condition. If this was in perfect, beautiful condition, I would probably pick it up because this kind of decor does sell. Hey, look, I can talk to you at the same time. This kind of decor does sell, but condition. Now, it might be good if you're the type to fix things up and make it look in better condition, then it might be a good buy. Let's see. It is $3.99. So that's not bad. That's not bad. You probably couldn't get the shells for $3.99 to fix it up. So I'm not going to get this, but that could be good. So you got to look at condition. If you're not willing to fix things up, you have to leave it behind and leave it for somebody who will be willing to fix it up. Okay, let's talk about lamps. What are we looking for, not looking for in lamps? A lot of people don't use lamps as like just a practical piece of furniture anymore. Some of the people that buy lamps don't even care if they work because they're using it for the decorative effect, like this little guy here. Oh, he's kind of interesting. So once I spot something, I'm then looking to see, how old do I think this is? Like, this could be as old as 80s, 90s. It's not older than that, unless somebody recorded it, but I don't think they did. I actually think this is probably a reproduction from our World Market Center, because I happen to know this thrift store gets a lot of stuff from World Market. So I'm not really interested in getting reproduction lamps, so that's something you have to look at. Cute always sells if you can get it at the right price. Oh, this one's missing his cord though. So that's a lot of work to put into something that's probably going to sell in maybe the, I'm going to say $15 to $20 range on this. So not worth that time, the effort that you'd have to put into it. So always consider that. Don't get it and put work into it because your time is valuable. Yeah, see, this is a World Market lamp too. So actually there's absolutely nothing exciting here in the lamp department today. But I hope that helps just a little bit when it comes to lamps. Okay, I think we've probably talked a lot about clear glass. But let me just also say, when it comes to something that you see a lot of on the shelf, you want to stay away from anything where you either see a lot of them at one place or you see them in every place that you go. Reason for that is that means supply demand. People that are out there are also finding these and they know they're not worth very much. So stay away from that stuff. And in clear glass, it's got to be really super special to be worth putting the effort into listing and selling it. You know, it can't just be like, oh, I like this. This is cute. This is probably only worth about $2 or $3 on eBay, and look, they're selling it for $3. You don't want to sell $2 and $3 stuff. You want to sell $20 and up stuff. That should be your goal if you really want to make serious money at this business. Even something like this, you know, it's cool and it's vintage. It's a diamond point. It's $5, but the shipping on that is going to take away from most of the value for the customer because they're going to have to pay at least $15 of shipping. That's not leaving you very much profit because then they're only going to want to pay like another $10, maybe $15 for the piece. And it's just not worth it in the long run. And there we go. Lots and lots and lots of vases. So you're looking for something special. And I assure you, there is nothing special in this grouping today. Okay, let's talk coffee mugs. So coffee mugs generally are not going to be worth much money until you find something that's a bit special. So you want to stay away from, you know, kind of generic things that are hard to describe. I mean, something like this might be okay. And it's $1. So remember, you make your money in the buy. So you don't want to pay more than $1 for something that you can flip for 10. This kind of would be my threshold. But you just got to be careful of what you're picking up in the mugs. Now, if you watch my video from yesterday, I hit like the mother lode on cool mugs to sell. So you can kind of get some examples of what is good to pick up and see the values on those, because at the end of every one of my videos, I'm giving you the values on this stuff. And I honestly am not seeing really anything here. So you're looking for Disney, you're looking for vintage, you're looking for things that are good to give as gifts. That's a big one too, because people will pay $15 to $20 for a mug that sparks the right little emotion for them to give it as a gift. But most of these mugs are just, Really, really worth just passing by. So be very careful on the mugs. All right, let's talk about glasses now. So I'm looking for things that are in pairs, number one, and have enough value to justify dealing with the hassle factor of shipping sets of glasses. What you want to watch out for is something that you think like, okay, this comes from the Gurgich Hills Estate of Napa Valley. So that's just like a wine tasting mug. My key here that it's probably not worth much is there are a lot of them on the shelf. So sometimes, you know, having 4 to 6 of something because it was a set is okay. But when it's like a random glass like that, that's probably going to be something that was a giveaway and doesn't have a lot of value unless it's from a place that's closed or is just really super special and people are looking for it. I'm kind of looking through. Oh, now I tend to just pick these up all the time because eventually I'm going to have a set of 4 of these. See, it says Di Serrano. That's it. Di Serrano. These were mid-century promo glasses for this liquor company. So that's something you want to look for too, is look for promo glasses from liquor companies. And the reason for that is they were not mass marketed. They were made just to give away if somebody bought their liquor. So there's not that many of them out there and people will collect. And then there's some, I don't know if these have much value, but all I know is I see these a lot. And again, it's that if I see it a lot, I tend to not pick it up because that means there's a lot of them out there. But we are going to grab this little guy and add it to our little square glass collection. Let's now just talk about some of the random stuff you'll find. I've got Zoltar over there, like being very noisy. Silver plate items. So there are some valuable silver plate items, but you really need to know what they are. This looks like a really cool antique carafe thing in its little holder. It's $6.99, but you want to learn what's quality and what's not. I didn't look to see if this one is marked on the bottom. No, it just says Inspector 15. Ooh, that Inspector 15. So you're gonna need to know your makers that are the quality pieces, like Rogers, and I can't even think of them right now because I really don't pick up silver plate. And also look at condition. So some things you can get away with it being tarnished and people like the patina. Other things, it just makes it look cheap. So again, it's all about knowing your niche and what sells within that niche. For me, I tend to stay away from silver plate. Now, this caught my eye. I'm like, okay, I know it's a bank and I know it's pottery. I was thinking it might be just like an amateur piece, but it says Zerwinski. It's actually signed for $4.99. That signature is throwing me because that looks like a really nice signature, but then it could be just as a hobbyist piece where they learn to sign their name really well. I'm kind of thrown on that one. I may do a quick check and see if Zerwinski is a thing. So when I talk about a hobbyist piece, I'm talking about someone's home hobby project. So there was a time period where buying a kit, you know, when the greenware, the unfinished ceramic was a big thing, and you painted it and fired it and voila, you got a hobby piece. And if we find an actual ceramic one, I'll show you kind of what the bottom looks like. But there's also studio art pottery, and there's a lot of amateur potters out there. It doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It just means don't spend a lot of time on your research if you cannot find that artist's signature. Probably aren't going to find it because maybe they made 1 or 2 pieces that ended up in a thrift store. So we're going to look this one up and see if it's something. As I suspected, no Zerwinski. So we're going to leave that one because it just doesn't, it's not exciting. If it was like really cool and painted with something that really like struck an emotion in me, I'd probably pick it up. But it's just a plain thing. Just a plain thing. Let me talk a minute about plates and platters. You'll often hear me say, I hate to ship plates, I hate to ship platters. And I always get the comments going, oh, it's easy. I mean, I can do it. Don't get me wrong. I've shipped many of them. But what I tend to find is they're big, they're bulky, they require a lot of packing materials and time to get it right because they have a very weak center. So you have to really make sure everything is done right so that pressure doesn't hit the center of a big heavy platter. Now, if it's worth like $100 or more, yeah, I'm gonna deal with it, I'm gonna ship it. But if it's something like this, you know, that's in like the $20 to $50 range, or you know, below $50 really, I just stay away from it. I just stay away from it because again, hassle factor, I don't like it. Why pick up something you don't like? That's the beauty of this business, is you don't have to deal with things that you don't like dealing with. Bottom line, if you love platters and you don't mind dealing with them, then pick up the platters. Just learn which ones are worth it. That's anything. Learn which things are worth it within your niche. But for me, I'll look at the platters, but I don't like to pick them up. Okay, somebody obviously donated their little owl collection here, and I'll tell you why I'm not picking these up. This little guy has a chip. He's also not really made the greatest. See the seam on the side? He's got no weight to him. He's just not a quality glass piece. This guy is kind of missing something. He's also just not exciting. This guy is just resin. I tend not to, well, I mean, he has a music box, but he's really super dirty. I'd have to put some time into cleaning him. Just not my thing. This guy obviously has a chip. $3.99. This guy's a little gourd, and while he's cute, the value's the value's just not there. And these guys again, also cute, but the ears are both chipped. And this is cute. Oh, it's a candle. Well, this one I'm giving a second look to. It is an iRice import. Let's see, how much is it? No price, so I don't even know if they'll sell it to me. All right, I will go ahead and pick this one up if the price is right. Out of all of the owls, this is the only one that was really worth it to me because he's vintage, he's not chipped, and I think I can get that candle out of there. Although I may just ship him with the candle because it was originally part of him, and he is vintage. So that's my reason for picking him up and not picking up all those guys. Looked over, see, this was a whole owl collection. Look at this. This I will pick up. This is hand painted. It is made by Alice. Looks like in 1976, or it was given in it's 69 cents. So that is something I will pick up. All right, plates is kind of the same thing for me as platters. It needs to really be worth it. And the thing with like dinner plates is you need to sell more than one. That means you got to pack up like, you know, 4 of these and hope they don't break in shipping. And to me, it just has to be worth a whole lot of money to make that worthwhile. So this is the type of item that could be tempting because there's none listed, and there's a listing on Amazon, but there's none listed. So you'd be the only one with them. But what you have to be careful of is getting completely outside of your niche, spending time on something as opposed to spending time on something that could sell more easily for you, that drives people to your other listings. So be very careful of temptations like this unless you are absolutely sure you have a way to sell it. These are $5 each. I have no idea. You'd have to go in and look at, you know, past comps and things, but don't be tempted to go outside of your niche. Okay, let's talk about buying things in multi-quantity if it is in your niche. Now, turn this around. Look at these. These are very tempting. They're not old, they're new. And they are jar lids. I don't know what size, I mean, it's a pretty standard jar lid size, but they're 69 cents. This is kind of tempting to me because here's where I break my $20 rule. If I can sell a multiple quantity of something with only having to do the work to make one listing, I will sell things cheaper. So if I could get $10 a piece for these lids, and look how many there are. I mean, if I sold even 4 of them, that's $40 for one listing, right? So it's about the time spent on the listing. I probably won't pick these up today just because I just don't need inventory that bad. But this is a great opportunity if it's something that would appeal to your regular customer base and is within your niche. And they are kind of cute though, aren't they? I think they go in like just a standard canning jar. I might have to look around here and see if there is one. But if you knew what size jar they went on, that would make your decision a lot easier, wouldn't it? But yeah, pick up multis of things that are at the right price. Let's just say you picked up 10 of these. That's going to cost you $7. You sell one, you've made your money back, and all the rest is gravy. Let's talk about party light. Party light is another one of those things. Some pieces are worth a lot of money, and pieces like this, I'm going to tell you, plain, not so much. This is like just a warmer thing. Yeah, I mean, party light is a hit and miss, so you almost have to look up each individual party light thing to know if it's going to be worth picking up and reselling. It just really depends what it is. Like, it's just a plain shade, probably not. Oop, I thought that was glass for a minute. And I don't see any more party light, just those pieces. But yep, party light's one that you have to be super careful of. And see anything else along here? Gonna look at this real quick. Nope. That umber kind of shade thing, looking for that because Glass Babies has kind of that shading ombre kind of a thing to it. So pick it up and look at it. And plus, that's the thing, pick it up, feel it, because you'll feel it's cheap glass. You'll start being able to tell. Even if you can see with your eyes, pick it up and teach your brain what's cheap glass and what's not. All right, speak to me, Zoltar. Go ahead. Say it now. Say it now. What do you have to say? Oh, sure. Now you're not going to say anything. Now you're just going to stand there and just be silent. You've got some pretty rocks.
Your fortune is mine for the telling and yours for the hearing. Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
Okay, bye, Zoltar. So I will tell you right now, I don't even look at the vinyl and the CDs and the movies and the books, and I know there's good money in all of that. So I'm not the one here to tell you the specifics to look out for in this type of stuff. But what I will tell you, if this is your niche, know your stuff. Be able to come in here and sort through those records and know, boom, 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 oh yeah, this one and this one and this one. At least have that good gut instinct about which ones to pick up, which are the good sellers. I mean, I know there is a lot of YouTube videos out there where they're out there making a killing on all of this kind of stuff. But if you don't have a little bit of knowledge stored in your memory banks about it, it's going to be really hard to go into the store and figure out which one of these is going to make you money. So if it's something you want to learn, then by all means, go ahead and learn it and study it and get into it and make the mistakes. This is important too. But if it's not your thing, don't feel pressured to go outside your niche and try to learn that. You might make yourself a little crazy. Okay, linens. So linens is only within my niche if I find something vintage. New linens, not so much. So I'm looking at the crocheted little Afghans and things. This, and like on the crocheted, you need to learn the feel of the older yarns versus the newer yarns, because the older yarns and the big granny squares and some of the chevrons can be worth some big bucks. You also need to look at condition. See if it's been run through the washing machine a few times and it's just dull, or it's got lots of, what do you call that? Pilling. You don't want pilling. You don't want all that stuff. So those are the things to look at for the crocheted. And then I'm just kind of looking through, seeing if there's anything vintage, anything that catches my eye. So that is going to be key. You want to make sure it's worth your time and energy to be reselling it. Now, if you sell newer things, if you sell home goods, then you're going to be looking or some high quality towels. You're going to need to learn the feel of the high quality versus the low quality and what you're really looking for, so you can have an edge on the market and people will trust that what they're going to buy from you is going to be what they're hoping to buy from you. Okay, let's talk the toy department. We all know that there are some great vintage toys and games that sell for really good money, but there's a lot that don't. So it's really, again, a matter of learning. Now, eBay has a really cool tool for scanning barcodes and for taking a picture, and those work really good on this type of stuff that's got a very specific cover art and very defined borders. So you can use that if you kind of think something's good. But again, this is one of those things, I don't spend a lot of time in the toys looking because there's generally not enough here for me to make good money on. But some resellers are making a killing in this department. So it's really a matter of knowing what it is you're looking for and knowing the values and how much you can pay. Okay, you do see me go through the purses every once in a while. I go through them quickly. I have very specific things I'm looking for. I personally am looking for vintage, of course, vintage and antique. I'm also looking for what Jordan has taught me is a really, really hot, popular trend. It's the little mini backpacks that are high quality. There are some brands that if it's something that you see, you might want to take note. I'm trying to think what the brand is. They do a lot of Disney ones, and some of them sell for hundreds of dollars. So I am always on the alert for those, but I haven't found one in the wild yet. Most places know what they've got. So I'm looking just for vintage, for cute, for something that might have gotten mixed in here that could have some high value and that would appeal to the people that I tend to sell to. You know, like Fringe and Raffia and such things. But again, it comes down to, and I feel like a broken record, comes down to knowing your niche and who your customer base is and what will drive traffic to your other listings if they come in on that listing. Right, let's go through what we picked up here. I've got the Di Serrano, the square-based, black-based glass. Again, I paid 99 cents. I'm going to be looking to put this in a place and hope to find some more along my journeys. I usually do. They're out there, and usually one at a time. So you buy them one at a time, eventually you'll add up to enough to get some good money for them. I picked up this little owl candle. You can see he doesn't even look like he's ever been burnt. He is an iRice and Company import, and owls are pretty popular right now, so he should do really well. Got his little friend here, this little hand painted, she's just adorable, by Alice. Alice painted this probably in the 70s because it was given as a gift in 1976. It was 69 cents. Did pick up the rooster print because it has the vintage look. That is what the millennials are looking for, is the vintage look. And roosters are super, super popular. And it is from the Gingham Roosters collection by Isabel de Borchgrafe. I know I'm just butchering that. It came from Target originally. That's okay. That doesn't deter the resale value from a home decor perspective. It's $3.99. I'm okay with that. Got the Bessie Pease Gutman print. I always pick these up if they're in good condition and framed nicely. This one was 99 cents. Love it. Last but not least is the cat with the big hair. It's a Pets Rock Empire Art Direct with its original tag here. More fun than fame, Pets Rock. And it's $6.99, which is a little more than I'd like to pay, but I mean, how can you pass by that? So I hope you had fun with my doing something just a little on the different side there and learned a little something from it. Bottom line is, I'm all about the niche. And niche doesn't mean you're so tightly wound around specific products that you can't go a little outside the lines, Niche simply means knowing who your ideal customer is, buying things that will appeal to them so that they will shop for more, shop your store, know that they can come back and find the same sort of things. Build your following. Building a following is key, whether it is on eBay, and yep, people can follow you on eBay, on social media, on YouTube, whatever it is. It's all about building the following so you have people that you can market whatever it is that you're selling to them. So, hope that makes sense to some of you, to all of you, to anyone watching. And I think my brain's overheating because, let's see, it says it's 108 where I'm sitting. 108. So, I'm going to get home. I'm going to dip my feet in the pool, if not my whole body. And then edit this video. All right. Okay, everyone, go out there, find some great stuff. Go be profitable and make it fun. And we'll see you on the next one.